How's it going, internet? I hope you're having a lovely day. It's that time again. It's time to get into some animation, time to get that creativity going, time to get that imagination all revved up and ready to go. And it's time to get inspired. And today's inspiration comes from over there, Roy Krenkel. And if you're not familiar with his work, you should be. His stuff is beautiful. It's amazing. He did work on Conan, and as per usual, you probably know that I'm a huge Conan fan, so that automatically puts him, in my opinion, up in the top echelon of illustrators and artists. But he's got a really unique style. I think it's kind of a mix of like a Mobius vibe with probably some hints of Dore and older illustration style as well. But it's really great, and he does that beautiful thing in art where it's not too off model and it's not too on model, and I think that's kind of that sweet spot that you want to hit as an artist, where you can automatically know that the anatomy's on, that the structure is right. Excuse me. Hold on one second. Sorry, I had a little coughing fit there. But you know that everything's set up right, and it's built structurally sound, but then there's a little bit of flavor to it, that they brought their own style and vision to the imagery itself. And you can tell on here, there's no real defining way that you would have to draw a scarecrow man, but you can tell that he used pretty close to human anatomy, and then did some caricaturization and brought it to life and blended the two really well. And I think when you can do that, when you know the fundamentals so well, that you can blend them in with your style and make them unique, where you're not going, oh, that's a little too stylized, or oh, that's a little too realistic, but you kind of hit that sweet spot. I think he does that beautifully in here and brings that sense of whimsy and fantasy to his stuff. I really like the way that he does faces too. He kind of does more of a elongated face. I think that's a really interesting choice, but you can see that he did that in this one as well, where they've got kind of these narrower and longer faces. It seems like that's kind of a go-to. And it's not everywhere, but it seems like that's more of a natural way that he draws, and the aesthetic there I think is really pleasing. And I also really just like the way that he does his shading with these vibrant lines that he uses throughout. But anyways, I'll link to more stuff from him down in the description below if you guys want to check out anything further. And I did want to share a quote with you guys that I found, and that was, "What's all the noise for? If I need more drawings, I'll just do more drawings. I'm an artist, not a business." And this was in regards to a quote that he said, where he kind of would find people that really appreciated his art and then sell it to them at a price that they could afford, rather than being like, nope, this piece costs $4,000 and you must pay $4,000 or you're not getting this piece. It'd be like, no, this guy really likes my stuff and he's got $20. You know what? This seems like this is the right person to have that would appreciate the work that I'm doing. And I thought that's a very unique aspect of an artist that we haven't really looked at. And I tend not to talk about finances too much on here, but you want to be able to eat something when you're working, so you got to do some form of patronism, but at the same time, I think to be a person who's not focused on the business end and who's focused on the creative end and touching people and reaching out and doing something with your work, I think that's more along the lines of the ideal way to think. But I guess it varies for everyone, so let me know what you guys think down in the comments below. And one other thing I wanted to mention, kind of piggybacking on that with this comment too, is the thing, if I need more drawings, I'll just do more drawings. And that's, I think, a great attitude to have. I know a lot of people get very particular with their work of like, oh, this is the piece and I really did so much effort into this one. But I really think to be a good to have good craftsmanship in your work, you have to be able to almost repeat it on command and do it quickly. And that will show that it's not like a one-time luck of a piece of art, but it's more of a craftsmanship that you know that you can reproduce this kind of work on a consistent and steady level. And I think that takes a lot of time, but I think that's kind of a goal, at least for myself, that I want to kind of grow towards having, is to be able to give stuff away, but be able to recreate it or recreate similar things, so I'm not so precious with each and every piece that I make or not make, but just go and, you know, this is, if it's what you do, you should be able to do it no matter what and just continue to make more. But anyways, I'm rambling, so let's go ahead and get into some animation. This is the Mr. Stills rig. It's a free rig you can grab from the wonderful folks over at Rocket Sky, and I will have a link in the description below if you guys want to check out and try out this rig. If you're not familiar with what we'll be doing, we give ourselves usually 48 frames. It's about 2 seconds of animation. I go off and find a rig that I've never used before that's a free resource for you guys to play around with, and we kind of go from there. A little bit of over the shoulder, hang out with me while we animate, a little bit of instruction or guidance, or kind of talking through the process with you. And hopefully the main goal of this is to encourage you guys to continue to create and to push your journey forward each and every day, whether you're inspired because you disagree with me, or you think my stuff's crap and you can do better, or you think it's wonderful and you're learning stuff from it. Whatever it is, the main goal is for me to be there for you, to support you guys and encourage you and hopefully inspire you, or find someone else, or find a quote or something interesting that sparks something in your head that you go off and you create your own thing. And if you do, definitely share it down below so that I can give you some encouragement and some thumbs up, or if you want advice or a second opinion or any of that kind of stuff, don't hesitate. And if you've been following along for the month of November, we've been doing Jumpvember, which is a jump animation every day for the month of November. And today we'll be continuing down that path. So let's get started then. So frame range to 48. Enough of me blabbing for today. I feel like I'm very chatty today, which is always wonderful. But those videos tend to go on a little bit longer, which is okay. So let's go ahead and get in here and start making an interesting storytelling pose. So what I was thinking for this one is we'd have him flip over and jump down. Do backwards, backflip. So let's create kind of our scene layout for this. So jump over, down. Let me do that here. I'm going to be a little bit higher. Again, I'm trying to do a different style of jump, or a different way of jumping each and every day, so that we don't get, let's go a different direction too, I think. Maybe we could do a front flip. Have we done a front flip? I feel like we've done a front flip. Maybe we have. Let me know. Comments below. I hope you guys are trying out some jump animations as well, or maybe going off and creating something interesting for yourselves. So we'll do like a, let's see, go head first dive, swan dive out, and then land on all fours, maybe? Yeah, let's see if we can't build something like that. Let's create a more interesting pose to start off with here. Use that a little more. And rotate, get a little more splay here. I'll puff out that chest. Offset it in the hips. I think we'll do a little less here. Use that as more of a butt controller than part of the spine here. Let's go ahead and grab the neck, rotate that forward a little bit, and the head. Let's go ahead and pull it up. And should we do the hands in IK or FK? chunky shoulder. What you get there? Real big shoulder pads, kind of a shoulder. I almost want to do the hands in IK instead of FK. I feel like it might be a little bit better. So let's just go with it. That's what I'm feeling right now, so let's just switch. So let's see where the controller is. Hopefully there is one. IK, FK switch. So let me switch. There we go. Put that on 10. And put that on 10. Okay. So I can get a little bit better posing, but it means we don't really get any freebies like you do with FK, which is nice. And what I mean freebies is with FK, the arms move with the body, so you get a little bit of built-in kind of posing and movement throughout. So we're gonna have to do that all ourselves, but like we were talking about before, should be able to create stuff without any problems for our animators finally. Creators, content creators. Let's maybe make him look regal, so we'll put one arm down at the side. Just trying to figure out what I want to do with these arms. Get an interesting pose here. Zero that out. Zero that out. Drop that down. Make him regal, so we'll pull a hand up over. And don't be afraid to look silly in front of the camera or, you know, act it out, pose it out yourself. It's part of the fun part of being an animator. Is you get to be a little bit of an actor as well. So let's go ahead and tweak that a little more. Give me finger controllers. Alright. Let's go ahead. Bring that forward. Grab all the bases. Pull it back a little bit. Let's try and make this a little bit better. Hand pose. Still feels really stiff, but we'll work with what we got here. Remember, we are trying to do this within an hour, so we kind of can't be too precious with any of our work here, but we still want to get as good as we can with it. We'll keep him just a little bit relaxed here. So there. Let's droop the shoulder a little bit. We're going to do that on the side too. Going to do it a little bit more. Almost like a presidential style stance. And let's put a little bit of looseness in these fingers here. Let's grab the pinky. Curve it up a little bit more. And let's grab the thumb. I don't really like the way that the hands are set up. They feel a little too small for me, especially with how big the head is. You'd think they'd give us a little bit bigger hands, but that's okay. Just more of an aesthetic choice here. It's fairly okay silhouette there to go with. So let's start there. Okay, let's go ahead and save our file, and we are using Autodesk Maya 2014 for today's video. And if you want more information on that, like always, check the description below. Let's go to grab everything, make sure we only have our nerve curves, nerve surfaces, and polygons selected. Go to frame 0, and we'll set our first key. Go here. We'll go and puff the chest out a little bit more. Push it forward a little bit, up a little bit, not that much, just a little bit. Raise that hand up a little bit higher, out, and then we'll go ahead and do a little more of a clench here. A little less on the pinky, a little more here, a little more here. That thumb is not very pretty. Let's see if we can't do a little better on our thumb. Let's actually zero this out and reapproach the thumb again. I realize that there are going to be some restrictions that we have because of just how it's rigged and everything, but I think we could get a little bit better posing out of that thumb than what we have. Feels fairly okay. Let's do a little bit tighter there. We'll drop this shoulder a little bit. Pull it back a little. Drop that hand a little bit. Rotate there. We'll go ahead and do a little tweak on the head. Yeah, let's look at this hand again. Relax the thumb a little bit more. Okay. We'll go ahead and lock that pose down. And again, we can always tweak things and tweak our timing, but just kind of an anticipation or setup for what's going to happen. A little bit of an acting beat before we get into our movement here. Let's go ahead and pull this up a little bit more, just so I can get it in frame and not too far out. Again, let's just make sure we locked everything down there. Let's go 22, grab the hips, move it forward, grab the feet, rotate back, get kind of that swan dive kind of a feel here. Grab the hands, forward. Let's go ahead and zero out that shoulder here just for right now. Get the other hand, move it out here. pass here just to get the timing down and our spacing down and everything. So our posing doesn't have to be completely solid yet. But okay, one thing that we're going to have to watch out for is the knees. So let's go ahead and address those while we can. I think that was 22, so let's go and just pull it forward. Silhouette here if we can. Get those arms out of that hat space. Let's go ahead and open that hand up. Broken. Let's go extend those fingers a little bit more. Pull the shoulders back a little bit. Okay, that's an okay pose. Probably the head's a little too far back. Let's do something like that. Okay, so I'll go here and we'll make sure we lock in that. I'm just gonna set our key there. And then let's go and build our landing in next. So let's bring this down. Zoom that out. Like those. Get our knees in. So we can, one of the benefits of doing this in the high case, we can plant the hands down on the ground. So let's reverse the spine here, rotate that this way, and bring that this way. Maybe too much rotate on the spine, so let's scale it back a little bit. Maybe it's too much here. Bring that this way. Bring that over. Let's look at the neck. Don't want the neck to break so much. Look at the head. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36, 37, 38, 39, 40, 41, 42, 43, 44, 45, 46, 47, 48, 49, 50, 51, 52, 53, 54, 55, 56, 57, 58, 59, 60, 61, 62, 63, 64, 65, 66, 67, 68, 69, 70, 71, 72, 73, 74, 75, 76, 77, 78, 79, 80, 81, 82, 83, 84, 85, 86, 87, 88, 89, 90, 91, 92, 93, 94, 95, 96, 97, 98, 99, 100, 101, 102, 103, 104, 105, 106, 107, 108, 109, 110, 111, 112, 113, 114, 115, 116, 117, 118, 119, 120, silhouette here as well. Zero out the fingers here. Maybe we can get a good hand pose. Actually, let's overshoot him a little bit. Get that hand a little flatter. And get that thumb out. Okay, it's a little funky though. Just can see how that bone splits. So let's try. Do a little bit this way instead. Still a little funky, but I can work with that a little bit better. I'd like to be able to twist it a little bit that way. But that's as far as it'll go. So we'll leave it like that, at least so we can get that good plant. And let's take the fingers and let's zero all those guys out again, just so we can get that good plant on the hand. Let's get that thumb. Not exactly the way that I would like it to be. Let's get that tip out. It kind of works. And let's give it a little bit of spread on that pinky. A little more up on all the fingers. And again, we can totally tweak any of this stuff, but just so we get some interesting posing for our main keys here. So let's grab everything there and set our key there. Okay, so we've got our start, and we've got kind of our build up, our jump out, and our land. Okay, let's just play through and see how Maya would give us our in-betweens and why we don't use it as our in-betweener. Okay, again, we've got the basic movements that we want, but it's too much just mushy. There's really no timing or anything with it, and this is why we want to go in and break things up and add extra keys and stuff in there too. So let's start off with just looking at our overall rough timing throughout everything. So we've got okay. I think we can hold this for a few more frames. So we'll hit like let's grab everything. And get till 2 till about 6. And then we're still like having pretty close, so let's move 12 to about 16. 14 is at 12. And 17 being about 20. And then we'll move 22 to about 26. And that should be better timing. Let's see. I feel like that's a little too fast. Let's give us about 2 more frames to get there. Yeah, let's let's do 1 frame extra for all of this beginning part. Just feel like that's still a little too fast. We want to build up the anticipation a little more. Okay, already our timing's better with that. Now let's go ahead and make sure we keep these feet planted on the ground so they're not hovering up here. Can we hold them for even a couple more frames? Not really. Probably hold them for one more frame. Let's see, what's that, toe? Maybe a little ball lift, no? Kind of like that. Probably keep the feet on the ground there. Hold that till about 22. Let's see that ball lift. We want to drag them down a little bit more here. And drag them back even more there. And we should drag the feet back there. We gotta make sure we get those knees moving a little bit better. They can be there, that's fine. We need them to be there. Okay, yeah, then we want to make sure the feet get down first, so take what we have, put that about 38. I think they're too stretched out there, so let's push them forward here. And drag them back even there. So we can go down. Drag them probably a little bit more over. Let's see. We could probably even have a little bit more so they hit a little bit harder. Let's just look at the rough timing on that. Okay, let's look at our translate Y's. Those still feel pretty good. Tweak that a little bit. Z here. That's what we want to do, so we want to go kind of hold back a little bit further here, probably. Can't go too far back though. Kick out there. A little bit of an arc going through there. Actually, probably even further back here. Something like that. Let's look at the hips now. Let me check out the translate Z here. Slow out of that a little bit more. Let's look at it now. And we did kind of want to go down here. So let's look at the translate Y here. So we kind of dip down. And go into this, which we could probably tweak up a little bit more. Yeah, we should have that be higher here. Something like that. Let's see it now. Translate Y there. We want to have a little bit of an overshoot here. So it goes. Okay, that's way too much. Just want a little bit. Still probably too much. Maybe we'll go just take both and bring it a little lower there. And let's see it now. There we go. Starting to get to where we want. We want a nice little bit of a down, up, and over. Still feel like there's this frame here. The legs are probably too far stuck. Keep what they are there. And just push them a little bit more. And let's go ahead and come in a little bit more. There we go. Let's go ahead and really do that squash frame here. So I can get that drag. Let's look at our spacing. I think this frame could be a little bit higher still. Yeah. go ahead and save our file while we're at it right now. I want to do a little bit of a squash here. Let's see. So we get that little bit of change of shape throughout there. So let's grab this guy, this guy, this guy, this guy, and this guy. And let's look at the rotate axes here. Still get a little bit better line of action throughout here. I think it might just be too much. So let's look at that rotate X again. I like the idea behind it, but I think we'd have to spend a lot of time polishing that up in order to get it. Let's just punch that hand down. Delete that. Back. Bring that shoulder down. Maybe a little too much. Let's see. Let's see. Let's go ahead and bring these arms back here. Try to get some better posing in them. Set that. pushes down. It slaps down. And this needs to be more like one big sweeping motion. So it hits here. It's there. Delete this one. Go down further. Sit there. There we go. Okay, now once I get to translate Y on the movement through it, as you can see, still a little crusty here, so let's go ahead and probably go there. And tweak our curve a little more, like that. That's fine, this is no good, so let's go ahead and get rid of that. This could probably be a little bit higher. Let's see it now. I like that gap, so we slam in there. Okay, now let's look at the feet and let's vary them a little bit. So let's look at the translate Y on this foot, and let's keep it a little bit higher here. I'm going to delete this one. Let's get the rotate X. Set that. Let's take this. Rotate it X up. So let's see. Drags back, keeks up, plants. So we get a little bit of variation in the feet. Let's go ahead and drag this one back a little more here. Just so we get a little bit more variation in the feet here. So you can see we get still the same basic arc in there, but we're kind of hitting it a little bit different timing. And set that one there. Go ahead and raise that. Rotate that foot. So we got that. Maybe we'll delete this one. Let's see. Get those elbows a little bit better. And we have a controller for the hat. That would be kind of fun to play with. So it actually popped off his head. Then down here. And back up. Just as a little overlap tool. Let's see. Let's go bring it up. Bring it back a little bit. Rotate it a little bit. Zero all that stuff out again. Let's see. I think we still gotta clean up the rotate on the neck and everything before we're gonna get really anything good out of there. But the idea is there. It's fun to play with, so we'll keep that for right now. And let's look at the head and the neck while we're at it now. Let's see. Okay, and let's make sure that we clean up those curves a little better. Pretty. We might need a few more frames of recovery, so let's bump this over to 54. Let's see. Just have to do some counter animation from the animation on the head. Let's save that. Let's look at the fingers here. I really like this frame, but let's not do it for another frame. Really drag those fingers up. Still think I want to do about an extra 3 frames at least in here for this hold. Really hold it, maybe 2. Let's see. Give me 60 frames for this. Just to kind of give it a different timing feel so we get that slow beat really quick. Let's look at the toe. We're getting the toe here. Toe wiggle. Drag the toe a little bit there. Really drag the toe there. We can go up here. Up here. And zero it out. Okay. Just so we get that little bit of overlap on the plant there. Okay, just a little bit more on there. Might be a little too much, so let's pull that back a little, scale it back a little bit more on the toes. aesthetically kind of stiff stuff built into this rig. But I think we got enough looseness out of there. Let's go back to looking at those fingers. Get that kind of acting beat there at the beginning. Set that. Get that at about 15. Let's see. Let's see there. Now let's go ahead and grab all the mid curls and mid tips and delay those a frame there. And tips, just so we can get a little bit of variation in that as hand posing as well. And grab pinky and we'll delay a frame here. And the index, and I'll push it forward a frame there. Okay, maybe we'll do a little bit in the jaw. I think that'll call it for a day. We could definitely spend another few hours polishing this and tweaking our posing and everything for it, but I think we got something that works so far, so let's go ahead and see this. Start off there. And probably go a little bit tighter there. Really kind of grip it there a little more. Drag it a little bit there. And pop open there. Recoil. Go back. Okay. So you want to keep out here. Make it open up a little bit. And then clench. Hold it there. Drag a little bit more. Pop open. And another frame close and a little bit less. There we go. So you see a little bit of tightening in the jaw and then a little bit of overlap as he lands. And again, we could definitely go in and continue to polish this guy up, probably another hour and a half worth of polish and everything through it, but I think the idea works for it. And we're probably hitting around that hour mark, so let's take a look back at where we started. Before I do that though, let's go ahead and turn our curves off. Okay, we're looking at Krenkel, and he said, what's all the noise for? If I need more drawings, I'll just do more drawings. I'm an artist, not a business. And I think it's important if you really want to make a change and make a difference. Not if you want to make money. If you want to make money, treat it like a business. But if you want to do something with the things that you're creative with, put the artist aspect first before the business. And I think that's important to do. And also, if you need more drawings, just do more drawings. Don't have that feeling of everything that you do is so precious or so you gotta hold on to it and everything, but have it that the skill and the ability to create is the things that you hold precious, that you work on, so that you can continue to have a productive lifespan of your work. So that being said, I love you guys lots. If you enjoyed this one, definitely let me know in the comments below if you disagreed with some of the choices, if you would have done things differently, any sort of thing like that. Definitely throw it down in the comments below. If you end up using this rig or anything that you guys are creating, feel free to share it down below as well. I'd love to give you some encouragement and pat you on the back and say keep going. And if you're watching this, you guys are the creative future. I completely believe in you. Keep following your dreams each and every day, and I think that'll wrap up for today. So, with that being said, we'll see you for some more animation tomorrow.